Hi there, in this video we're going to be moving on to revision of Unit 3, and specifically we're going to be talking about functions. We first need to know that a function is just a relationship between two sets of numbers, and if we're using a function machine, the numbers that go into it are called the input, and the numbers that come out are called the output. In this first example, we've got work out the output of this function machine. So we're starting off with an input of 3. Our function is actually saying add 4, and now we're looking for the output. So that add 4 just means take the 3 plus 4 to it, so our output is just 7. In our second example, we again have a function machine where we start off with an input of 7. Our function is actually times by 5, and now we're looking for the output. So again, it just means take the 7, times it by 5, and we get an output of 35. In this example, it's slightly different because we're working out the function instead of the output. So now we have our input of 8 and our output of 24. So we can think of what do we do to 8 to get to 24? We can either do 8 plus 16 or we can do 8 times 3. So this function is either add 16 or times by 3. In this example, we now have two inputs coming into the function machine, which makes two outputs come out as well. So if we look, we've got 8 going in and we get 24 then. And we also have 2 going in and getting 6 out. So now we actually have to consider both of them when picking our function. We know that going from 8 to 24, we can either plus 6 or we can times by 3. Now we need to figure out which of those works to get from 2 to 6. So 2 plus 16 definitely does not equal 6, so we can't use that one. But if we do 2 times 3, we get 6. So times by 3 works for both, so our function is just times by 3. Something you need to know, and it might seem a little weird, but you need to get comfortable with it, is that when we don't know a value, you can just use a letter to represent it. In this example, we want to simplify 5p plus 6p. So we can combine these because they both have that same letter of p. So if you think about it, 5 plus 6 is just 11. So what that means is 5p plus 6p is just 11p. In this next example, we've got simplify 5p plus 6p plus 8. There's not a lot of difference in this one, but it actually matters a lot. So we can combine the 5p and the 6p because they both have that letter p, but the 8 doesn't, so that part's going to be left alone. We know that 5p plus 6p is 11p, so what that means for 5p plus 6p plus 8 is just that it's 11p plus 8. So again, notice that the 8 is separate from the 11p. You also need to know that 1x is the exact same thing as just x. They have the same value. In this next example, we've got simplify 8x plus 5y minus 2y. So again, we need to think about what we can and cannot combine. So 8x and x can be combined because they both have x. But then we also have 5y and a minus 2y that can be combined. But they can't combine the x's and y's. First, we'll combine our x's, so 8x plus x. Remember, that's the same thing as saying 8x plus 1x, which is just 9x. Then we can say 5y minus 2y is just 3y. So our whole expression that's being combined simplifies to 9x plus 3y. You probably just heard me use the word expression. An expression just contains numbers and letters, and you can write expressions by using letters to stand for numbers when we don't know what the value is. We're now told Ava has Y books. We want to write an expression for the number of books Tim has if he has 2 more than Ava. So again, we don't know Ava's number of books, so we're just using Y to represent her books. Tim has 2 more than her, and more than means to add, so it's just Y plus 2. In maths, we just always write numbers before letters, so if it has x times 2, that just means 2 lots of x, which is just 2x. Katie earns X dollars, Sam earns twice as much. We want to write an expression for the amount that Sam earns. We don't know how much Katie earns, so again, we're going to just use a letter, and in this case, it's X. Sam earns twice as much, which means just times by 2, so it's X times 2, but we write it as 2X. Zoe charges $9 per student to attend a dance class. There are Y students in the class. We want to write an expression for the total amount she charges for a class. Again, we don't know how many students, so we're just going to use Y to represent it. She charges $9 per hour, which means times by 9. This means it is just Y times 9, but again, we always put the number first, so the answer is actually 9Y. Using the expression we just made for Zoe and her dance class charges, we can actually find out how much she charges for 5 students. So we've got 9Y, which actually means 9 times Y, and Y is the number of students, which is 5, so it becomes 9 times 5, which is just $45. A formula is similar to an expression. The big difference is that there must be an equal sign. But a formula still shows the relationship between two quantities. You can write a formula using letters to stand for different quantities, but again, it must have that equal sign. The formula to work out the pressure when a force is applied to an area of 5 centimeters is pressure equals force divided by 5. We want to work out the pressure when the force is 30. So we've got pressure equals force divided by 5. We know force is 30, so we're going to replace it. It becomes 30 divided by 5, so the pressure is just 6. Every day, a butcher makes 24 sausages more than has been ordered. We want to write a formula in words for the number of sausages he makes every day. So we can say the number of sausages made is just equal to the number of sausages ordered plus 24. We're now looking at the same information, but we're going to write a formula in terms of the number of sausages made with the letter M and the number of sausages ordered with the letter S. So number of sausages is equal to number of sausages ordered plus 24. We know that much. Now we just need to replace the words with the actual letters that we're using. So number of sausages made is going to be represented by the letter M, and then number of sausages ordered is used by the letter S. So we're going to say M equals S plus 24. Last example of the video, we've got Sally earns $9 per hour. We're going to write a formula that connects the money she earns, M, to the number of hours she works, H. So in words, this is money she earns is going to be equal to the number of hours times 9. Now we just need to replace the words with the correct letters. So we're told that money she earns is represented by M. So we're going to have an M equals, and then we have number of hours is H. So it becomes M equals H times 9. However, we don't write it that way, so it's just M equals 9H. That's all for this video. If you have any questions, then just leave a comment on Show My Homework, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks.